Hello, next to your video. Today we're gonna take a look at the newly released Pokemon here, which is going to be the Toxapex. We are battling, of course, some people on Twitter. They most likely know that I'm running Toxapex, but the first person was, I think, also the only person that decided to meme a little bit. No, there was one other person that also had a funny pick as well. But here we have a triple Sneasel team against us, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we can take a look a little bit on Toxapex today. We have here, for example, a matchup against the Hisuian Sneasel, as we're going to be able to resist everything, and you're going to see how bulky this Pokemon going to be. This Pokemon was insanely good. I can highly recommend you to grind this Pokemon in the event coming up. Don't do what I did and just get the first rate and try to power that up immediately. I just literally do it for videos. Don't do what I do. I spent 200 drag candies onto this thing and a lot of starters just to showcase it for those few battles. I'm going to get a better one because I really want to play this Pokemon. We have a team here that I think might be the best possible team around it as well. We have our Lickitung as a safe swap and our Medicham in the lead. Medicham doesn't want to face any charm users, so you have like the Toxapex for the charm users in the back, and also the Lickitung going to be able to get out those steel types, for example the Registeel, for example something like here the Walrein, definitely a cool steel type, but also something like the Galarian Stunfisk, and exactly those Pokemon you cannot beat at all with your Toxapex. One problem for this team can be Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen would be able to most likely beat everything on this team. But of course you have coverage. The Lickitung matchup is pretty neutral, and like you have Brine on your Toxapex and Ice Punch and Psychic on your Medicham. So while it's a tough matchup, it's basically the only real tough matchup here. Another tough matchup actually is also Sableye. Sableye kinda lost a little bit of value recently in terms of like usage. I don't know why, like it kind of went down, to be honest. So Sableye would also be a core breaker for your lead and the Pokemon in the back. But let me tell you, this team worked pretty well against everybody I faced here. And this team was a lot of fun to play as well. We're going to see Runerigas here, and I'm really scared about this Pokemon because it's also kind of core breaker for my lead and the Pokemon in the back here. But it's going to be fine. We can let the Phantom go through. We're going to shield the next move up, which is going to be a Shadow Ball. And we are a little bit on the bad side right now. Like, I don't know if we can still win this game here. We have to see what they have in the back. It's going to be a Talonflame. This is pretty sick, as we can go for another Brine here. Brine is a 50 energy move doing 60 damage. Pretty horrible move, to be honest, but it's fine as this thing is so bulky it kind of needs to get nerfed by something here. And we see them going for one Flame Charge. I need one more fast move to get to the Brave Bird, but we can farm them down in time with the Toxapex here. Good game there. Next opponent, we're going to see Medicham against Stunfisk. I expected a lot of people to run some steel types in the lead because they expect me to have the Toxapex, and Toxapex most likely best position going to be the lead. But we are prepared here with our fighting type, and we are prepared as well here with our Lickitung against this Trevenant going straight for the Power Whip. You have to go for one Power Whip in order to KO this without using shields, and that's why we go straight for this. As you can see here, the Seed Bomb is actually going to get us pretty low with our Lickitung, as Trevenant is just very, very strong in general. Like, the Seed Bombs just add up after a while. But we can now go ahead and go for some Power Whips against this Stunfisk, and we can also now realign our Pokemon, which is like one of the main important things here for this team. And we can just go ahead and go for another Power Whip, get this thing super low, and basically remove one counter for this Toxapex in the back. We can let the move go through. It's going to be an Earthquake, and of course they're going to have another Steel type in the back. Pretty interesting team, to be honest, to run Galarian Stunfisk in the lead and Registeel in the back. Pretty weak to fighting type leads. Good thing we had a fighting type lead here, as we can go ahead, shield up the Zapcan. If we get debuffed, we can still swap out. And as we got debuffed here, we're trying to catch the move on our Toxapex. Of course, it will be super effective, but let's take a look how much damage it does. Actually, it's a super effective Zap Cannon. I think this is a lot of bulk that you have on this Pokemon. You still have to remember that this one has 11 attack because I had to catch it out of rate, of course, to showcase it here right now. So 11 attack is not even ideal, and you will even have a more bulkier version of this then. So like, this Pokemon looks like a lot of fun. We see another Pokemon here in the lead, which is very good for us. We see the Bastion, as we can see also a Lurantis coming in. Lurantis is a pretty attack rated Pokemon, so let's take a look how much the Leaf Blade going to do. Stab Leaf Blade, one of the strongest grass type moves, going to do some pretty nice damage. But even though we are not as perfectly bulky. We're going to be able to take those moves super easily. We would have maybe even been able to farm down here if we had a better IV version of the Toxapex, as we would have even taken another Leaf Blade, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we would have survived another one. Now we can still go for Brine against the Bastiodon, and Brine is actually something that I like a lot about this Pokemon. Having access to Brine allows you to do some water type damage against your hardest answers, which helped me out a ton in a lot of matchups. You're going to see it as well during the games here. Brine came in clutch a lot of times, and I actually think that Brine might be better than the Muddy Water for this Pokemon, just because you do like a little bit more guaranteed damage with this move, which can help you in a lot of matchups. Here, sorry towards this opponent, we just completely hardwalled you from the get-go. There was not a lot that they could have done here to win this game, so we can just go ahead, let this move go through, and just try to counter them down, as there is not a lot that they can do here anymore anyway. So good game there, was just a hard wall for me there, as we see the next opponent coming in here. Next opponent going to have a Berserker in the lead. A very funny lead here, as this Pokemon is actually pretty cool, has access to Foul Play, and this is the only other dude that also kinda memed. We see a Marshtomp, which actually going to be pretty decent in the next upcoming cup. We're going to have the Evolution Cup, where you can only use mid-stage Pokemon, so Pokemon that already evolved but can also still evolve, which is going to be a very interesting cup. I already took a look at this, but going to make a video on this in like future date here on this channel, so leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. And we can farm down this Marshtomp. We will see that they're going to go back into their Steel type. We can go for one Body Slam, and let's see what they have in the back here. As this Body Slam going to get the shield, we can go for another one, gonna get this thing low. They kind of have to throw a charge move still here, or do they want to swap out? They want to throw a charge move, fine for me. I can align my fighting type, and as long as they don't have a hard answer, which Swampert kind of is, to be honest, I'm fine. But this is not as fine, to be honest. They go for one Hydro Cannon, and we called the bait there, which is really important. If they went for one Earthquake, those would have been a little bit tricky. But like this, we can just go ahead and no-shield everything. They are forced to throw their charge moves here, and we will be able to counter them down over like the time here, which is going to be everything I really want anyway. Hydro Cannon still doesn't KO us. It's insane how bulky this Pokemon is. It's going to be definitely one of the best Pokemon that you can run later on. I expect it to be a lot of times used in the tournaments as well later on for like the regionals, to be honest. I think it's the Pokemon that especially can shine in like a show 6 pick 3 format, as this thing can hard wall something like a low 9 hits, which you see a lot of times. It has so many good neutral matchups. Really curious if we're going to see it. Of course, still Nidoqueen might be the preferred poison type just because of the coverage and Poison Fang being very, very strong. So we have to see how this is going to go. We see a Sableye coming in here, very nice catch by my opponent, and we can go ahead and try to go for some Power Whip damage here. I hope that they're going to let this move go through, as this will knock them out, and they're going to let this move go through. Let's see what they're going to go into. They go into their Nidoqueen back there, which is fine for us. We kind of want to get rid of this. It's kind of an answer for our lead and for the Pokemon that we have in the back. We're going to be able to still survive one Poison Fang here on our Lickitung, as we're super bulky, and we're going to be able to go for one Body Slam here. Of course, we are building frenzies here, so some people might think, why do I do like such a bulky team? I kind of really want to showcase on the potential here that the Toxapex can have, so I didn't really want to meme around. You can also play something like Toxapex plus the Tentacruel Say Swap. I think that would be also a fun team to use. And then something in the lead that really doesn't want to get hit by a Charm user, I don't know, a Dark type or something, and you should be fine. But double Water and Poison might be also a cool combination here, but we went straight for meta. Full bulk, like literally we have an XL Medicham, an XL Lickitung, and also this Pokemon here, just fully bulky, and this really worked well for me, as we're going to be able to KO the Swampert here with Brine, and we can still get to another Brine here and KO the Nidoqueen. So we shield the Poison Fang, which is fine for us. We can go for one Brine, and this Nidoqueen is gone. Again, here Brine is such a good game, like such a good move actually for this Pokemon. Of course, the move itself is kind of horrible, but yeah. We see a very good lead for us, and we see a Say Swap here of Sableye, which is really good for us as well. We're going to go ahead and go straight for the Power Whip. Power Whip will ensure that we can KO this thing with some lick damage later maybe, and we can let all the moves go through here, which is going to be also pretty fine. They go for Foul Play. They can definitely go for another one now as well. as we see now the foul play coming through. We go for another body slam just to ensure that we can KO this Pokemon here. And we see the Diggersby coming in. Diggersby doesn't want to get hit by a Power Whip, but it actually also doesn't really want to get into the matchup with the Metagame. So what we're actually going to do here, by the way, this is a regional winner from the Brine regionals. So I actually met him in person as well in the tournament there. Very good player here. We can go ahead and go for an Earthquake. They go for an Earthquake and we can just shield up and we can go for an Ice Punch here. This Ice Punch should be enough to do some nice damage there, but they're going to shield up. Fine for me. And now we can take a look at Toxapex against Jumpluff here, which is going to take all those acrobatics. Easily can take 2 moves here over Jumpluff. And acrobatics is like an outrage clone. Like, this move does a lot of damage. We're still not a perfect IV version of the Toxapex, and we can still take those moves pretty easily. We can just farm this thing all the way down. You see how much damage our Poison Jab going to do. We're going to let this move go through because at this point I'm just going to rely on my Medicham. If they want to go for a charge move, they can, but I can just go ahead and go for an Ice Punch now, KOing the Diggersby of the opponent, and they can go for one more counter and go for another Ice Punch to KO the Jumpluff here. Very good game there. As we can go into the next one. So far, no loss. Well, so far, very good game so far with the Toxapex, to be honest. We see Altaria coming in here in the lead. We can go straight for one Ice Punch, that's why we packed the Ice Punch here. Our backline is a little bit weaker against the Altaria, so Ice Punch going to chunk this thing a lot. Nobody ever shields this, which is fine for me. And we see a Registeel coming in. You might think a Registeel matchup against Lickitung is like one of the worst that you can have, but actually just the damage of Lick going to make this matchup so much better, especially as they go for Focus Blast. If you didn't know, at least I would go for the Zapkin instead, just for the chance of debuffing the opponent, because if you don't do this, you're going to see what we're going to do now. We can go for another Body Slam. They of course are at the move, but I don't really care too much. I'm going to shield this move up. I don't want to have the Altaria with the energy coming up against my fighter, and they're actually going to swap into to the Altaria now, which is going to be very nice for me. I go into my Toxapex, and here's the issue with Toxapex. Toxapex is kinda like a Deoxys defense. What this means is one-turn moves going to hurt this Pokemon more than other Pokemon. While this thing is super bulky, one-turn moves are kinda a pain for this thing, as it has next to no HP. It has like 128 or something HP. I think a Zermil or something around 200 HP. Just for comparison reasons here, but this thing has like insane bulk, like an insane defense stat. So one-turn moves have more of an impact against Pokemon with a low HP stat than compared to some Pokemon with a high HP stat. So something like Dragon Breath going to hurt this Pokemon a little bit more than compared to other Pokemon that has a higher HP stat. We're going to be able to take this move pretty easily. We can farm down the opponent and win this game as well, as we can go now into the final game of this video. All wins so far, and we see a very good lead again, but the Say Swap going to be a little bit tough. We see a Tentacruel coming in against us now. We can go straight for the Psychic, trying to get a debuff or like the shield here, as we can see that they're going to shield it up. I hope this is an Acid Spray. I was wrong, it wasn't an Acid Spray, and I can now swap out into my Lickitung, which is going to be pretty decent. But at this point, they went for a charge move, I went for a charge move, and we are very unaligned in terms of the switch time right now. And you're going to see them swap out at the half-minute mark of my switch time, so I still have to wait half a minute until I can swap. And it looks a little bit tough, as they can farm me fully down here, which is not the ideal scenario. But good thing for us is that we have a bunker in the back there that can just go ahead and tank everything. Like, it just can tank everything, and it doesn't do damage to you. And you can just tank another Night Slash, and you can go into your Medicham, and you will be able to just knock out this Obstagoon. They go into a Nidoqueen now, which is going to be a little bit tough, of course. It's kind of a core breaker for our team, but they're actually going to let this move go through, go back into their Tentacruel, can farm me down now, and now I'm in a tough spot. They're going to have, of course, the Acid Spray now, which will get my defenses super low, but I'm going to have to call this one as well. It's going to be another Acid Spray. We had -4 defense now, and I still have to KO this Nidoqueen. But even though we're at -4, we still be able to take those moves, we can shield their moves up, and I will be able to get 2 moves here to win the final game as well. So I went unbeaten with this Pokemon so far against, of course, this time friendlies, but against really good players with a lot of good teams. So this Pokemon looks like a lot of fun. I definitely recommend you to grind the next event. This seems definitely worth it, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like for the effort I put into it and all the Stardust I wasted into it. I have to build another one with good IVs, but yeah, this is going to be it for the video. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!